Welcome back to our channel, where we delve into the intriguing world of technology and its evolving impact on society. Today, we're unraveling the enigma behind the rise of female robots, exposing the shadows that lurk beneath their seemingly innocent facade. Join us as we explore the potential sinister side of these alluring creations in The Enigma of Emerging Female Robots. Many hold the notion that artificial intelligence, commonly known as AI, harbors intentions against us. Addressing this widespread perception, the United Nations recently tackled the issue during its AI for Good conference in Geneva. Taking place in July, the event aimed to spotlight AI's potential in solving global challenges. It marked a remarkable occasion, gathering the largest assembly of humanoid robots ever witnessed. Among the attendees were prominent figures like IDA, hailed as the world's first ultra-realistic humanoid robot artists, and Grace, celebrated as the foremost nursing assistant robot, globally. Notable appearances also included Sophia, Nadine, Mika, and even the rock star robot, Desdemona. Remarkably, these androids all share a common trait: they are intentionally designed with feminine characteristics. This begs the question, why do creators consistently opt for such attributes in their robotic designs? Critics often posit that the preference for female AI voice systems stems from underlying gender biases. However, there are instances where the choice has a more innocent origin, the designers shaping the robots in their own image. In the case of Nadine, her creator Nadia Manyanat Thalman coins her robot selfie. In contrast, the lone explicitly male robot at the conference, Humanoid, is an exact replica of its maker, Japanese roboticist Hiroshi Ishiguro. Among the conference's keynote speakers was IDA, an AI marvel with capabilities in drawing, painting, sculpting, and even performance art. Lisa Zevi, who heads the IDA project's operations, said this is the reasoning behind giving IDA a predominantly female appearance. She explained, "Female voices are often underrepresented in both the artistic and technological realms. Our intention is to amplify the voices of these underrepresented groups." IDA's character is notably influenced by Ada Lovelace, a Victorian mathematician renowned as one of the earliest computer programmers, as reflected in both her persona and appearance. Apart from robots fashioned after individuals, a common rationale for choosing a female robot emerges: our inherent inclination towards women's voices. Carl McDorman, an authority in robotics and human-computer interaction from the University of Indiana in the US, posits that this argument could indeed have a solid grounding. He has engaged in research that has yielded intriguing results. While women exhibit a preference for female voices, men don't seem to have a significant preference. Through the testing of people's reactions to various voices, the research uncovered a disparity between self-reported preferences and actual feelings. Women appear to favor female voices much more than they acknowledge, whereas men tend to claim a strong preference for female voices on surveys, despite their actual indifference. Hence, according to McDorman, a female voice might prove more effective for both genders. On average, women tend to have more positive interactions with female voices, and men, even if they remain apathetic, believe they should find greater satisfaction with such voices. Nonetheless, this might not encapsulate the complete narrative. Notably, earlier iterations of AI like Siri and Alexa were endowed with female voices, and McDorman's research has been cited to support this choice. However, he maintains that significant corporate decisions had already been taken, driven by entirely different reasons, and his findings were opportunistically aligned to these decisions. It's intriguing to note that women often hold a greater affinity for a female voice than they openly acknowledge, while men frequently indicate a strong preference for such voices in questionnaires. Expressing his perspective, Carl McDorman, a scholar in robotics and human-computer interaction from the University of Indiana in the US, posits, "I suspect they had made the decision before I had published any work on this topic. They probably made the decision for reasons that lie in the unconscious or reasons they might not readily admit to. Later, when challenged, they seek justification." McDorman suggests that our own expectations might wield a more substantial influence in the decision-making process than many designers are willing to concede. He explains, for roles related to service quality or customer service, there could be a stronger association with women than men. The initial stereotype then becomes reinforced, partly due to the popularity of choosing a female voice for artificial intelligence. In McDormand's view, this tendency could be perceived as having sexist undertones, as the tasks AI usually undertakes, such as delivering information or providing customer service, could be seen as subservient in nature. Furthermore, he alludes to the idea that these choices might tap into certain male fantasies. Kathleen Richardson, a professor specializing in the ethics and cultural aspects of robots and AI at De Montfort University in the UK, recalls a time when humanoid robots rarely adopted an adult female appearance. About 15 years ago, in the lab I was part of, she says, they predominantly designed them to look childlike. The idea was that by making them appear childlike, they'd be less threatening to people, making individuals more at ease with welcoming them into their homes. According to Richardson, this initiative to minimize the perceived threat of androids has evolved into the female shapes we observe today, largely motivated by concerns about the expanding role of technology. She elaborates, it's imperative to counteract this profound fear of losing our personal touch and humanity as technology becomes increasingly integrated into our lives, especially within our personal spaces. People write extensively about the daunting prospects, the imminent rise of Terminators. The notion of having such entities at home would indeed be unsettling, wouldn't it? McDormand, who holds years of experience in robotics, concurs that these apprehensions indeed influence the design of robots, especially in the early stages. He notes, a female android is generally perceived as more approachable, particularly to children. This made it more suitable for experiments involving human-robot interaction. This resonates with his personal involvement in robot projects in Japan from 2003 to 2005. During this period, much of the research involved children, and his team believed that a female android's appearance held less intimidation. However, Richardson poses a distinct possibility, hinting at a more fundamental motivation behind contemporary humanoid robot designs. She draws a parallel between robots and art, likening them to visual images on a surface. Richardson suggests that robot design confronts analogous challenges that art critics frequently bemoan when evaluating historical paintings. There's a well-known theorist named Laura Mulvey who delved into the concept of the male gaze within art, highlighting how male artists often portrayed female figures. These portrayals commonly depicted women as submissive, undressed, and existing purely as objects of male desire. Interestingly, this perspective seems to echo in the field of robotics, as what we witness are essentially images on surfaces. There's no inherent consciousness or vitality behind these images, they lack a sentient existence. Transitioning what takes place within human interactions to these newly crafted artifacts isn't a straightforward process. When reflecting on the human-like, adult female forms showcased at the Geneva conference, Richardson perceives them as mere puppets. McDormand concurs, acknowledging the predominantly male orientation of the industry and suggesting that heterosexual male designers may be choosing to fashion their creations as females due to their attraction to the opposite sex. There's certainly an element of sexualization at play. The higher the realism of the robot's appearance and voice, the stronger the inclination to view it through a sexual lens. As the realism increases, there's a tendency to treat it as though it were genuinely human. It's almost like it's triggering our primal instincts, so to speak, he explains. The potential consequences of this sexualization in the realm of robotics raise concerns. Richardson envisions a future where robots become commonplace tools for sexual purposes. Her campaign against porn robots strives to shed light on the ethical concerns stemming from normalizing such applications of this technology. The concept of engaging in intimate relationships with androids has been a staple in mainstream entertainment for decades, prominently featured in science fiction films such as Blade Runner, AI Artificial Intelligence, Her, and Ex Machina. In her book titled, Man-Made Women, Richardson alerts us to an escalating trend. The notion has transitioned from science fiction into daytime talk shows and music videos. Notably, sex doll brothels have sprung up in cities like Barcelona, Berlin, and Moscow, underscoring the real-world implications of this shift in perception. There's a notable concern surrounding AI, particularly when it intersects with matters of intimacy, as human relationships are inherently intricate, Carl McDorman points out. For those seeking discussions on this topic, an annual international conference solely focused on love and intimacy with robots even exists. The caution lies in the potential substantial consequences of normalizing such interactions. It's emphasized that adopting this perspective could come at a significant cost. What's being ingrained into society is a rather self-centered notion that an individual's emotions, thoughts, and experiences encapsulate what constitutes a relationship. Consequently, these feelings can be projected onto an AI avatar, the text states. However, the essence of a genuine relationship involves two participants. Intuitively, people realize that a relationship encompasses the connection between two individuals. It's a dynamic between two people, not confined to one side or the other, the text goes on to clarify. McDorman identifies the potential for an industry to burgeon around this aspect. Concerns persist around AI, particularly in the context of intimate experiences. Navigating human relationships can be challenging, as they involve vulnerability. AI, on the other hand, tends to be more accommodating. He observes that some individuals find pornography more accessible than conventional dating, and AI could be a means of sidestepping the complexities of engaging with other humans, along with the fear of rejection that accompanies it. Furthermore, he highlights the risk that the often subservient role of AI could nourish people's narcissistic tendencies. Nonetheless, the elevated cost of these robots might act as a constraint on their widespread adoption. Creating an android involves substantial expenses compared to other types of robots, he underscores. Achieving realism comes with a hefty price tag. Your computer is likely engaged for longer stretches during the day, requiring significantly less attention, he notes. He envisions a future where animated characters capable of interaction hold more promise, as opposed to three-dimensional humanoid, companion bots. Objects with moving parts tend to introduce complications. Consider the attention a car demands in comparison to the computer you use. Your computer is likely engaged for longer stretches during the day, requiring significantly less attention, he notes. He posits that regardless of our desires, the practicality of humanoid robots will likely remain out of reach for the majority of consumers. Yet, he does acknowledge exceptions. Similar to how certain individuals can afford luxury cars, there will be those who have the means to acquire androids, he concludes. As we conclude our journey, we're left with a thought-provoking revelation. The emergence of female robots poses multifaceted questions, unveiling both the allure and potential darkness within. The enigma endures, reminding us that the path ahead is laden with intricate choices and unforeseen consequences. Thank you for joining us on this thought-provoking exploration. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated on our captivating discussions. Until next time, this is the enigma of emerging female robots, unveiling their potentially sinister side.